2019 took a bit of getting used to. Every day revolved around drugs, which totally makes me sound like an addict, but medication for the cancer. I had to take the medication every 12 hours, which is only twice a day, but I wasn't allowed to eat or drink anything for 2 hours before or an hour after. And that totally dictated all our family meal times, every snack, every night out, every day for a year. And then every 4 weeks I had a trip somewhere, doctor's office, treatment room, hospital, somewhere. Once to get blood tests and again to collect more drugs from the hospital pharmacy. And on top of that, every few months, there was some sort of scan or other. MRIs, CT scans, ultrasounds, ECGs, and the waiting for results. All of those, of course, were days off work, but it wasn't like I was too sick to do my job or anything. I was able to continue working. Maybe I had a bit less energy than normal, but I'm pretty laid back anyway, so most people probably didn't even notice. It wasn't too bad. It became routine. We just carried on as normal. We went camping, we went paddling, working, playing, just generally living life. I know there's lots of people have to put life on hold altogether or deal with side effects that stop them from working. I have got to say, modern treatments, they've put a lot of effort into reducing side effects, and I had very few side effects. In fact, the only time I remember was there was once where the blood test showed that my potassium levels had dropped. And so I had to spend a night in hospital for that. Actually, funny story, at least I think it's a funny story. My heart rate, it's normally pretty low. Resting heart rate is about 55. And according to my watch, whenever I'm sleeping, it's not unusual for my heart rate to drop to the mid-40s. And I've also got low blood pressure naturally, always have, but apparently low potassium does make your blood pressure drop a bit further. So anyway, there was one night, that night in hospital, they had filled me up with their potassium and they were keeping me under observation. And at 4 a.m. I woke to find 3 nurses around my bed in an absolute panic. They were trying to set up an ECG, but they were all over the place, and the paper wasn't installed properly in the machine, and the sensors weren't sticking to my body right. Stuff was dropping off my body in the bed, and they were frantically trying to page a doctor. So it turns out they had come in the middle of the night to do my observations. They had seen that my blood pressure and heart rate were, as they thought, dangerously low. And they couldn't wake me. Of course not, it was 4 a.m. And they thought they were going to have to resuscitate me, and I was only in for a potassium top-up, which, although serious, I mean, they had done the work. I was just trying to get a night's sleep. And all this commotion woke me up, and my stats just came back whenever I sat up to normal. I mean, I found it funny, not convinced they did.
Alarm screams loud, it's 6:30. Teabag drowns in a mug that sticks. Same bus, same seat, same faces stare. Grey clouds follow me everywhere. I talk to the mirror like it's someone new, but it's me in it, same old view. I try to rewrite the same dull script, but every page flips to the same old bit. Round and round on the same old spin, looking for a way out, but I'm stuck within. Round and round, it's a game I play. Different moves, same end every day, every day. What's the price of a fresh new start when the map's all torn and the ink won't chart? Is there a door or is it just a wall when you climb so high but you still just fall?
With 12 months of taking drugs complete, everything looking good, my daughter Sarah and I, Sarah was 14 at the time, we decided we would paddle our canoes from Lough Neagh in the centre of the province all the way up to the Atlantic Ocean, down the River Bann. There was a lull in the COVID-19 restrictions, if you remember that. There was a lull in July, so we loaded up our boats and we set off. I don't tell Sarah, but I'm really quite proud of her. This is more than 60 kilometers in a canoe, solo. Most people would do it tandem, and she made it look effortless. It looked as if my life had been spared by cancer research. So Sarah set up a fundraising page, a cancer research fundraising page. You might like to donate something. If you would like to donate, I've added a description down below in the links.
Oh yeah,
I've like rarely been on it, but I know it.
we're getting into.
In the Bible, in the book of Romans, Paul says, I have the desire to do what's right, but not the ability to carry it out. And that's how I feel. I do not do the good I want, but the evil I do not want is what I keep on doing. Whenever there's a crisis in my life, I do get my priorities straight and I do useful things for a while. During that year when I was taking the drugs every day, my spiritual life was pretty good. I read the Bible, I prayed, I even enrolled on the accredited preacher's course. That's like the Presbyterian Church in Ireland's lay preacher training. But then, when the immediate crisis is past, I just lapse into routine and I retreat back into myself. I am a Christian. I'll always be a Christian. Christianity doesn't depend on what we do, it depends on what Jesus has done. So it's not something you can lose. But sometimes I'm more grateful for what God has done, and sometimes I put more effort into making disciples. And sometimes, when there's less urgency, I kind of drift along a bit. Maybe I need my life to be lived more constantly on the edge. There needs to be more of an urgency to my life. Maybe that's exactly what's about to happen in the next video.